A great gaming setup is so much more than just fancy gear and the latest tech. It's something that shows off your style and who you are as a person, and today I want to share that part of my life with you. I've gone through so many different gaming setups over the years and have slowly upgraded to where I'm at today, so welcome to my 2023 gaming setup tour. Oh, and everything you see today I will have linked down in the description below. First up, let's talk about the lighting in my setup. In my opinion, lighting is the single most effective thing that you can do to your room to transform the look of it. I recommend sticking to a simple color theme, so I have blue and purple lights all throughout my room, and I swear I chose those colors way before it was cool on TikTok. I use a variety of Govee RGB light strips behind my desk, TV, couch, and shelves, but the best things that I use are these super bright RGB floodlights that I got from Amazon. I use one to light up the background wall of my stream, two way more up on top of my closet since I have super tall ceilings. During the day, I leave them as white so it brightens up the room, but at night, or if I'm streaming, I set them to blue and purple to just really set the vibe. And then I have three more of those floodlights behind my desk setup. The trick to these lights is to put them behind your monitors and PC so you don't see the lights directly and you just have them bouncing directly onto the wall. Speaking of the wall, let's talk about these really cool hexagon panels that sit behind my monitors. These are sound absorbent panels that reduce the echoes when I'm live streaming, and because they're white, they really help to reflect the RGB lights. Next up, let's talk about the shelf above my desk. I really think that everyone should have a shelf above their setup because it really helps to enclose the space and it will make your setup feel a billion times more cozy. And speaking of cozy, to help warm up the space, I have two fake plants on both sides of my shelf, and adding in plants into your setup is really one of the most underrated things that you can do just to really make your space a lot more inviting. And then to finish off the top of my shelf are some personal touches like this RGB Apex sign that my girlfriend gave me, a BB-8 lamp, and my favorite Xbox controller of all time, the limited edition Sea of Thieves one. Way too many people have just really empty, bare bones setups, so adding these little personal touches like collectibles or just things that you enjoy really bring your space to life. Now let's talk about arguably one of the most unique things about my streaming setup. Mounted to the bottom of my shelf, I have these two barn door LED light panels that I use for streaming. These barn doors help to keep the light focused on me when I'm streaming so the lights don't wash out the colored RGB lighting that I have in the background of my streams. And then the other thing that I have mounted to my shelf is my stream camera, so that way the camera doesn't shake around when I'm streaming. My stream camera is the Sony a5100 with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens for that nice blurry background, and to this day it still looks absolutely amazing for my streams. But if I had to recommend a stream camera today, I would probably push you all towards the Sony ZV-E10. Next, let's move on to my monitor layout. Monitor layouts are one of the most important defining factors of a gaming setup, and I was very intentional about mine. I have a two monitor layout with my main one front and center for gaming and my secondary one in portrait mode for OBS and chat. My main monitor is a 27-inch 1440p 165Hz panel, but what's awesome about my setup is that my secondary monitor is also 1440p, but only 24 inches. And because of that, when I place it in portrait mode, the top lines up perfectly with my main monitor, which is sitting at the perfect eye level for me when I'm gaming. Now for one of the most important things in a gaming setup, my PC. This is my custom built PC that I recently made a few months back, and I made a full video building this thing, so be sure to go check that out if you haven't already. But for the case, I decided to use the Thermaltake divider since everyone these days uses the Lian Li 011 Dynamic, and I just wanted to do something different. Inside is a RTX 3080 GPU and a 12700F CPU. Overall, I really love the smaller form factor compared to other builds, and it just looks really clean in my opinion. When it comes to peripherals, I think this is where a lot of uniqueness comes in everyone's setup. For my keyboard, I am using the Ducky 1-2 Mini with some shine-through keycaps and red silent switches so it keeps it really quiet when I'm streaming. My mouse is the glorious Model O-, which I still love to this day because of the compact size. For my stream mixer, I'm using the Go XLR Mini, which is incredibly convenient to have if you're a streamer. It's almost as important to me as having a Stream Deck, which I have an original one right next to my Go XLR. For speakers, I have these nice looking Kanto YU2s, which sound absolutely incredible, and I can't recommend these things enough. And under all of that is my extra large Fanatic Dash mouse pad, and I know there are way more aesthetically pleasing mouse pads out there, but I care more about gaming performance, and this mouse pad has just one of my absolute favorite glides that I've ever used in any mouse pad. Then off to the right, I have my stream mic, which is the Rode Procaster, and not too many streamers use this mic, even though it would probably be a better fit for most people's voices, and it's only half the cost of a Shure SM7B. For my mic arm, I'm using the Rode PSA, but I'd like to upgrade to a low profile mic arm at some point. For my headphones, I'm currently using the DT990 Pros, which I really like because they're semi-open back. Next up, let's talk about my custom desk that everything is sitting on. My desk is a super long, cheap IKEA tabletop that I wrapped a few years back in a white reflective vinyl that looks really cool when lights are reflected on it. And off to the left of it, I have an empty area that I can use for unboxings, but right now I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro, Steam Deck, and Xbox Elite controller. I was thinking of maybe turning this area into a small secondary gaming and streaming setup powered by my Steam Deck for when I have friends come over or when I want my girlfriend to stream with me. Let me know in the comments below if you'd like to see that video. As for my cable management situation, one of the best tips that I can possibly give is just to get a really big basket and mount it to the bottom of your desk. In mine, I just threw in a big power strip and stuffed all of my cables into this basket, and it makes your cable management so much easier, but it still hides everything completely out of sight when you're at just a regular level looking at your setup. Also, I'm sure you noticed that I have a small silent fan mounted to the underside of my desk, and trust me, that comes in clutch when you're streaming in the summer. For my chair, I've been using the Fabric Secret Lab for like 5 years now, and I still absolutely love it. It's one of the few gaming chairs that I would actually recommend to people. Now let's go over what shows up in the background of my streams. First up, I have a 55-inch Samsung TV that I display my brand artwork on when I'm live, some diffused Govee light bars that look really nice on stream, an entertainment console that holds my Xbox and controllers, again one of those floodlights that illuminates the wall when I'm streaming, my Govee Glide light bar that bends around my windows, a lamp that has 2 really bright LIFX bulbs just to really help make the backdrop of my streams pop out. And lastly, you'll notice I have a bunch of sound panels all throughout my room, which really help to cut down the reverb in this room. I hope you enjoyed the stream tour. Again, I'll have everything linked down in the description below. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave a comment. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate the support. But with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.